Hi, it's Mitch from SportsChatPlace.com along with Ron Romanelli here with a rundown for some Saturday college football picks. Of course, it's SportsChatPlace.com. Free picks on every game every single day. We're the first site to bring you free picks on all the games. And, of course, every day here on YouTube, we're doing new videos. We had this channel going for quite a while. We stopped doing videos for a while. Now we're going to bring it back bigger and better than ever. Of course, part of that, just to get things started, is these videos that I'm going to be doing with Ron. But we're not going to go over every college football game on the board. Like I said, we have those covered at the site. But we do have a bunch of them covered for today. And, of course, you know, it's going to be a little bit of quantity over quality today at SportsChatPlace.com. YouTube, Ron, once again, thanks for really pushing this on me, and I appreciate it. I needed the extra work. Now I got it. Anyways, let's get to this first game. You said the first game you asked me to go over, Western Michigan versus Michigan. Jim Harbaugh, obviously on the hot seat. I don't know if a win over Western Michigan is going to help his cause any. I mean, this is a guy that he's got to beat Ohio State this year. He's kind of pretty much the writing is on the wall for him. But, Western Michigan, a team, well, a lot of guys from in-state here that probably got snubbed by Michigan and Michigan State, and maybe this is their crack at doing it. Broncos, not a bad team at all. So, here they go to the big house. What are you thinking?
Yeah, they are not a bad team whatsoever. I think this is actually my favorite to win the MAC this season, Western Michigan. They return a lot of guys.
No, Kent State? I like Kent State, too.
Kent State's up there, but that defense that's what scares me a bit. But, yeah, that offense could really hang in with a lot of those, even some Power 5 teams. But Western Michigan here, they return quarterback Caleb Ellaby. He had a nice 2020 campaign. They got a good O-line, good defensive line. Michigan obviously coming off a really bad season, 2-3 last year. They lost Joe Milton III to transfer portal. He went to Tennessee. And even though they returned 10 starters on offense, I still think that even with the improvements, laying 17 in week one, even you got a Western Michigan team that knows how to play with. They play a lot of Power 5 teams throughout their schedules in the past. I think that giving more than 2 touchdowns is just value city with Western Michigan. We know the public's going to be all over Michigan, as they usually are. And I think Western Michigan has a shot in this one to keep it close. I'll take Western Michigan in the points. I expect a 2-touchdown win for Michigan.
I'm with you. I think Western Michigan's got a shot outright, and I think with the points, the way to go. Go to our next game. I think this is one of the more, like from a fan standpoint, if you want to watch a good game. Iowa hosting Indiana. Of course, Tom Allen, I was super critical of him in the past, but last year he kind of earned a little bit of respect from me, doing the right thing and really taking care of business on the winning side of things. But still, when it comes to his game time coaching in the games that, well, they're out of it, or the games that were point spread games, right? He's just not usually going to be your friend, but we have to give him credit for taking care of business and winning games, which he did do last year. Of course, he's got that quarterback back, and this guy can flat out play. What do you think of this one?
Oh, yeah, he can play. He's one of the best quarterbacks, not only in the Big Ten, but in the country. Michael Penix Jr., I expect another sharp season and game from him in this one. You got 2 tough defenses, Big Ten type of defenses in Indiana and Iowa. But I think people, they know Michael Penix Jr. and that flashy Indiana offense, but you can't underestimate this Indiana defense. I think their secondary and defensive line is real strong. It can really compete with some of the teams in the Big Ten like Iowa. And even on the road, giving me more than a field goal with Indiana just seems too juicy for me. I know it's a road game in the Big Ten. This game means a lot for both teams, but Iowa's quarterback wide receiver play is a little questionable for me. I'm not sure they're going to be able to move the ball when it counts in this one. We've seen Iowa's offense really struggle in certain games. I remember the game against Northwestern, I believe, last year, that Iowa just really struggled offensively and let Northwestern get in and grab the win. But in this one, I'm going to take Indiana in the points. I think they have a good shot at winning this one outright. But like Mitch said, this is going to be one of the best games to watch on today's card.
Yeah, I think Indiana's certainly an attractive option there. But Iowa, a team that always finds a way, it's one of those things that you definitely want to shop the line, make sure you get a good one. We've seen these lines really come into play. Yeah. I always say in my other videos that I do at that other site that I also own, who are we kidding, that it's so important to shop the lines, and I give you those bonus codes to open up different books. But, and while, that's part of what I do, getting you guys the bonus codes, I really do mean it. And you saw it, shopping lines, the UCF game, the UCF Boise, the line came into play. Ohio State, Minnesota, the biggest game of the night. There was 13 and a halves out there. There was 14 and a halves out there. It went both ways and a lot of 14s. So, that Boise State UCF, there's 4.5, 5s, 5.5, 6s, right? I mean, there was a lot of different numbers in that one. We've seen it already this college football season. There's only been, a couple of games. Meanwhile, West Virginia taking on Maryland. And this is always an interesting story for Maryland. They've got, Tua's younger brother, which sometimes when it's Tua's younger brother, it becomes, Tua's his older brother, right? That's what these things sometimes happen. This kid is an athlete. On the other side of this one, though, Seth Doji, right, at West Virginia, also a solid quarterback. This one should be a good game, Maryland, West Virginia.
Yeah, it's another great game on the card. We have plenty of great contests already in week one. We don't usually see this many Power 5 versus Power 5 in week one. But, my questions with Maryland lie with the defense. I mean, I know they had a bunch of injuries last season and cancellations. Maryland really took a lot of COVID issues last season. But the defense has to be better if they're going to want to make a bowl, in my opinion. West Virginia, like Mitch said, they returned Jarrett Dagey. A good quarterback in the Big 12. I think he's going to have another successful season. I just think West Virginia is better on both sides of the ball. I know they're on the road here, but I think there's a reason why they're the favorites. That line does look a little trappy, less than that field goal. But I do think that West Virginia comes out and earns the road victory by at least a touchdown. So I'll lay the points with West Virginia.
I say Doji, you say Dagey. I think we're going to see a lot of points in that one. Anyways, Georgia, Clemson. This is a good one. Two teams that have been in the CFP playoff over the last 5 years. Of course, Clemson, last time they made it, lost in overtime in the championship game to Alabama. And Clemson, losers last year in the first round of the playoffs to Ohio State. Kind of the worst they've looked in the playoff. They won a couple of championships, but Trevor Lawrence and Etienne gone. Their new quarterback, I can't pronounce his name, but this guy threw for 439 yards against Notre Dame last year. That is the most yards anyone's ever thrown for against Notre Dame, and that's a team that's been around forever. So, I mean, that is a big accomplishment. Now, we look at these games, and these are the games I get excited as hell about, right? So you got Skalski back for Clemson. He's the heart and soul of that defense, right? And then for Georgia, the recruiting world champions, right? Kirby Smart. Both these guys are the recruiting world champions, right? These are top 5 recruiting guys. But Georgia's secondary to me looks a little thin. What do you think?
I don't know. I mean, this Georgia team, what an offseason they had. I mean, I think they improved at almost every single position. Obviously, it wasn't a Georgia-like season last year. They took losses only to Florida and Alabama, but still a disappointment in the eyes of Georgia fans, even with those just 2 losses. This is going to be a fantastic game. I think it's a potential college football playoff matchup. I mean, these two teams are already ranked in the top 5. I don't know. This one, I've gone back and forth. It's definitely not a premium play for me, but right now I'm leaning towards Georgia money line. I just think it's a coin flip type of game, and if you're going to give me plus money with a team that improved so much in the offseason, a team that has so many expectations, and it's one of the more exciting teams to watch, I believe, in the SEC. I would be shocked to see any SEC championship other than Bama, Georgia this season. I just think Georgia and Bama are just a cut above every other team in the conference. A&M's up there, and LSU improved too. But, man, this Georgia team, I'm worried. As a Florida fan, I'm worried about this Georgia team. I'm going to take them on the money line here. I think that they get the job done in already week 1, a big game for the Bulldogs.
I give the edge in quarterback clearly to Clemson in this game. Daniel's not one of my guys. And, Georgia always good at running back, great wide receivers, lousy secondary, good everything else. Up against this quarterback, don't like that secondary up against this quarterback. I think they're going to I think Clemson's going to go over the top on them. And Dabo not afraid to go over the top. He's not one of these. Kirby Smart is actually a little bit more conservative than Dabo, and I expect to see Dabo go right over the top immediately and often, stretch out that defense, and then pound them with the running game. And while Etienne's gone, let's just say, like I said, he's had the #1 recruiting class for the last 8 years. I'm sure they got someone that can carry the football and run really fast. For me, it's a coin toss too. Just the coin just keeps coming up Clemson. So I'm going to take Clemson in this one. In our last game, we head to Gainesville, where the Florida Gators open with Florida Atlantic. Now, the Gators known for opening with cupcakes, but Florida Atlantic not quite as cupcakey as a lot of the opponents that they usually face early. Normally, it's usually a division, an FCS, an FBS cupcake. So it's not like an FCS team that they open with, but normally it's an FBS cupcake. Hawaii, they'll open with a Nevada, Hawaii, or they open with like a New Mexico, or right, something like this. Florida Atlantic, a little bit different animal though here than that. They have the running back, Ford, comes over from South Florida. He was their best player. Comes over and goes for Florida Atlantic, who's been running back heavy for quite some time. Good, they had quarterback, back and forth issues last year. I think they have that kind of worked out here too. Florida Atlantic, we've seen them have struggles early in the season. Remember the year they got slaughtered by Oklahoma, and then they go on and have a nice year with Willie Taggart. Well, too bad Ruffalo's not here because he do a whole Willie Taggart, he really hates Taggart for some reason. But I think Taggart's not a bad coach. Anyways, Ron, what do you think?
Yeah, I don't think FAU is a cupcake by any means. I think Willie Taggart's team is going to have a good season this year. We saw them really play well defensively last season. The issues for FAU was on offense. They just, like Mitch said, the quarterback play was just not there. And now they bring in the transfer from Miami, N'Kosi Perry, at quarterback. They already bring in Ford at running back, like Mitch mentioned. So I think this offense is completely revamped. It's still going to take a while to get everything to gel, but I still think FAU is going to be competitive in this one. On the other side, you got Emory Jones, quarterback for the Gators. It's going to be tough to walk in and try to replace what Kyle Trask did last season for Florida. But Jones is a nice dual threat quarterback. He's got a good arm. Just needs to sharpen up some decision-making things. But I think he's going to have a successful tenure with the Gators. I think Florida has no real issues winning this game. I do see him winning by at least 3 touchdowns. But in the end, you're going to give me more than 3 touchdowns with FAU, a competent team. I think one of the better teams in their conferences. I'll take the points with FAU. It may be in the back door, but I think they get there nonetheless.
N'Kosi Perry was the number 3 overall dual threat quarterback coming out of high school. His class, Kellen Mond, was in that class. It was a stacked class, and he was 3rd in there. But he never lived up to that reputation, and he had plenty of starts at Miami. Plenty of starts. Yeah. But he never really developed into that kind of player. We'll have to see if that experience that he brings it to a different team gets a fresh look. Maybe he unearths it, because if he does, the Gators are in trouble. They're in trouble. If he can do it, because we saw what Kellen Mond did to them when push came to shove last year, and they had no answers whatsoever in Florida. 0. And Dan Mullen, let's just say, he's known to throw a visor or 2 in his day. Anyway, thanks everyone for joining us for this, and certainly leave a comment in the video. Let us know who you like today, and of course, let us know if you have any suggestions, for these videos, and if it's something that you like or you don't like, and we'll still keep doing them anyway. Thanks everyone for joining us. Have a great day. Let's make it an awesome week 1 of college football.